Good morning, Patrick here again, live from Complete Health. I just wanted to jump on and talk about one of my favorite things, which is a little bit to do with nutrition. I actually just had a gentleman coming in to see one of our massage therapists and was just gandering away at our supplements list that's out at our reception area, and was asking me a couple of questions about why would you take these kinds of things? What would you take them for? So I thought I'd just jump on and share the message that I've just shared with him so that other people can understand. Because when we look at chiropractic and when we look at our clinic as a whole, we're really trying to encourage complete health. That's the name of the brand. So we want to encourage people to be taking care of their life in other areas. Now, the reason why I recommend supplements is that they massively support alongside people's chiropractic care, physio care, massage care, because essentially being sufficient in all of the different nutrients that our body actually genuinely needs is going to actually create balance for our body so that our body can actually function at the level that it's designed to do. So some of the supplements that we actually have rocking in the clinic are stuff like magnesium, multivitamins, vitamin D, probiotics, and omega-3s. Now, the reason why we stock those ones are those are the most common things that I see that people are deficient in society nowadays. Now, let me explain why we might actually recommend some of these different supplements. So the main one that I find that most people are really deficient in is probably omega-3. And the main reason isn't necessarily that we're deficient in omega-3, but we're so high in other oils. We're so high in other oils that actually it starts to create dysfunction in our inflammatory process. So when we eat oils in stuff like vegetable oils or sunflower oils or seed oils, nut oils, especially stuff like peanuts, we are getting a lot of omega-6 and 9. Morning. We're getting a lot of omega-6 and 9. When we have too much 6 and 9 and not enough 3, what happens is our body creates something called arachidonic acid, which is massively inflammatory. Now, we supply a fish oil, which is technically not vegan. However, there are some recommendations of what you can do if you are a vegan. So one of the easiest things to do is actually increase your volume of chia seeds, flax seeds, etc., walnuts, almonds. They're all going to contain omega-3 in much higher quantities than they are 6 and 9, so you can get in those areas. Now, one of the main reasons why I'll actually recommend supplements is that people are massively deficient nowadays. Now, it's not because people are not eating foods that are necessarily healthy. Even if you're like me and you eat a whole foods diet, quite often we can still be deficient, not because we're not eating well, but because the food doesn't actually contain the nutrients that it used to 20 to 30 years ago. If you went back 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago, agriculture wasn't as mass farmed as what it is now, and so the quality of food was much better. Now also because of transportation units, freezing, processing, we can actually store food for a lot longer, which basically means that actually through that time of coming from the farm to getting to your plate, quite often it's lost a lot of the nutrients. And actually some studies have suggested that after about 3 days, you've lost up to 30% of the nutritional value of that food. So there's nothing better than trying to get local or organically grown foods, which are slightly higher in nutrients anyway. That being said, one of the ways that we can very easily boost up those areas where we've become deficient in our diet is actually just by supplementing. So one of the main things that we recommend is a multivitamin, because it's got everything that we pretty much need, and vitamin D. Now, at the moment, people shouldn't be too deficient in vitamin D because it's one of the ones that we get from the sun. Now, one of the other things that we recommend is probiotics. Now, the reason why I recommend this one is that food is now sterilized. So when we would pick food in the wild, there would be bacteria growing on the outside of your apples and your fruits and your berries. And if you just picked it straight from the garden and ate it, you would actually start to encourage bacteria microbiomes to grow in your stomach. Now, we can get both good and bad bacteria, which basically can actually start to lead to build up in our immune system. If we let our bacteria in our stomach drop too low, what we can actually start to do is affect our ability to fight off bacteria in our stomach, which ironically can reduce our immune system. So some of the reasons that we obviously encourage supplements goes beyond just the fixing of someone's back, fixing of their pain, but actually looks at their immune system. Now, if we look at the immune system, a lot of us actually fail to understand that our immune system is more than just fighting off bacteria, which what we want at the moment with the current situation going on, but it also actually helps us to defend against stuff like cancer. Our cells are supposed to obviously divide normally, and if that one of them goes a bit rogue and goes a bit funny and starts to act in an immature way, what our white blood cells are supposed to do is get rid of that cell before it becomes a problem. If we don't have the right nutrients and the right things in our body, then our immune system starts to drop, our blood cells start to drop, we can actually start to reduce the number of red blood cells if we're not getting enough stuff like iron, our immune system can start to drop if we're not getting enough stuff like vitamin C, our bones can start to demineralize if we're not getting enough vitamin D. So there's huge impacts that we can get if we're not getting the nutrients that we actually need. Now, if you can't get it through your diet because food is deficient, the easiest way to do it is supplement. And like I say, despite the fact that I eat a whole foods diet, I supplement with about 4 or 5 different supplements. So I've got a multivitamin, a vitamin D, a magnesium, an omega-3, and a probiotic. And these pretty much cover 99% of what we're actually deficient in our diet. If there was anything else missing, maybe like iron, if you're hemophilic, so, you may find that you're deficient in iron, or if you've got like heavy flows or something like that, then you may find that your iron levels drop. But as a general rule of thumb, those 5 supplements will cover most people to be a generally healthy person. If you've got any questions, we have got some of our flyers for our supplements that we serve in the clinic. Anyone that's a patient with us at Complete Health, actually we sell these at cost. We don't really make any profit on supplements. And the main reason being is that I wanted to make sure that all of my clients were recovering as quickly as possible. So I wanted to put some stuff in place that would encourage that. So we make maybe enough to cover the delivery of our supplements from selling them. That's it. Till tomorrow, I'll catch you guys soon. If you've got any questions, just leave us a comment below or just send us a private message. I'll be happy to answer those for you. Take care and see you soon.